Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Sedona International Film Festival. We are celebrating our 32nd year. We are coming to you live at Yavapai College, as well as YouTube Live. All throughout the week, we'll be here showcasing interviews of all the filmmakers, as well as celebrities on the red carpet, and also right here in our media studio. And Sedona is known as the Filmmakers Film Festival. So joining me now, please introduce yourself and your film.
My name's Tony Benna, and my film is Andre's an Idiot.
So Tony, is this your first time in Sedona?
I was here when I was younger on a motorhome trip with my parents, but it's been the first time in 20 years.
Oh my goodness.
So it feels
well,
good to
I'm
be
sure
back.
not much has changed.
But the mountains are just as beautiful, and I got to do a nice trail run yesterday, so
Yes.
I'm happy to be here.
Good.
Yeah.
Well, it's so nice to have you here with us.
Thanks for having me.
And your film, very interesting film, Andre's an Idiot. So tell me, did you know Andre personally?
Yeah, I knew Andre personally. We worked together. He was a writer, a creative director, and he'd hired me to direct a lot of his ad campaign stuff in the early years.
Mm-hmm.
But I hadn't spoken to Andre in probably 5 years when this project came up. So this one was a bit of a shock to me.
Yeah, so whose idea was it to actually do this film? Was it his or was it?
It was Andre's idea. He called me and he said, I've got a really fun project. You're going to love this. Let's get on a Zoom. So I get on a Zoom with him and he says, I've got stage 4 cancer. Let's make a comedy. And I thought, wait a minute, do you really have cancer? First and foremost, I said, can you give me 2 weeks just to digest that? And let me think about it. And I thought, over the 2 weeks, I thought, cancer's not funny, but Andre's one of the most brilliant, hilarious people I've ever met. And if anyone could make this a lighthearted journey, it's Andre. And I also knew, I felt very lucky to be involved in that circle of friends that he was inviting back into his life during these years as his journey with cancer. So, yeah.
And Andre's very quirky, from what we can tell from the film. So he has a very unique personality. Even his children and the relationship with his kids, very unique. So tell me a little bit about that.
I mean, Andre is one of those people that you only meet once in a lifetime. He's such a unique character. Literally marches to the beat of his own drum more than anyone I've ever met. Unapologetically himself. Very creative, very brilliant, very well read, well spoken, but also a little bit crazy, And that's what we loved about Andre, though, is that he just, he was different than anyone you'll ever meet, And so it was a joy to make this film with him.
Right. So tell me what that was like, because you knew him before. You went on this journey with him,
Yep.
And it was a full-on journey to the very end. So what was that like for you and the experience that you went through? Because that was over, what was it, 3 years or something?
3.5 years of filming and a year of post. Like I said, the journey was, I felt very lucky to be invited to the journey, first and foremost. But it was crazy. I mean, we gave Andre creative, liberty to, I was directing, but I said, whatever you want to do, because you're the one that has cancer, whatever you want to explore, we'll follow and we'll film. Which, giving Andre that kind of freedom was insane on my part, too, because we followed him to the ends of the earth on this film, and you only see the tip of the iceberg in the movie. But, if you wanted to go to a radon mine, or if you wanted to go do a crystal healing session, or 9 grams of mushrooms, we were all in. We just said, we'll turn the camera on. And my job was to figure out how to create a story out of it, and also adding in the animation and just sort of putting it together into something that made sense emotionally, with a story arc, because Andre was all over the map. We filmed so many crazy things. It was kind of hard to see for a while how this was going to become a film, or how we'd ever piece it together. But I think he left us with all the right pieces and all the right feelings to make it into something that's a very authentic portrait of him. And it's a very fun, hilarious roller coaster ride for the audience.
Right. So a little bit of a spoiler alert, just in case. But I do want to ask you this question, because were you around filming? So was it like a constant filming? Was it like in segments that you filmed, and then were you there for the actual ending of it, or so tell me what that was like.
So I moved to the East Coast 5 years before Andre called me for this film, and so that became a little difficult. So we did a lot of, we did some stuff over Zoom where my DP would be there and I'd be interviewing over Zoom. But I would say that I was out there every 6 weeks for 10 days or something like that over the 3.5 years. And of course, towards the end more often. But it became harder and harder to film towards the end because of, privacy of the family and just letting Andre have his space. But Andre insisted, and so did the family, that we finish what we started. And so that kept us going. I said multiple times, if we want to stop, there's, anytime, I think we have enough footage, but everybody said, no, we think this is really, Andre's enjoying this process in a way that's, it's making him feel surrounded by friends. He's making art with his friends, and I think for Andre it was cathartic to do that.
Right.
And I was there, I think the last time I saw Andre was probably a week before he passed away, but I ended up getting COVID during that shoot, so I had to leave early, which was disappointing. So the last time I did see him was over Zoom. But I did stick around to the end because Andre asked me to. But he used to joke. He used to say, well, he had two jokes. One was that I was going to die before he did because I was working so hard on the movie. The other one was the last thing he was going to see, he said, was us trying to set up a light and a microphone and screwing it up, floundering on his last breath. But he's like, he looked forward to that, he said. So, we just, we did what he wanted, which was film to the end.
So that's kind of an interesting journey because it's someone that you grew like close to. Even, I mean, that's part of the journey as well.
Yeah.
And so, what did you garner from this whole experience for yourself? Because it's hard watching a friend and somebody who you know very closely and intimately, and watching them. I mean, you watched that road. What was that like for you? We know what it was like for him.
Right.
He was having a really good time with it.
Right.
But what was that like for you?
Well, I also had a really good time with it because we got to, I would describe it as this sawtooth curve where things were really good on these plateaus for really long amounts of time. We were all having fun. And then, we'd have a scare, but then we'd go back up to this fun time. And so I think we were all on the same roller coaster. And I tried to edit the film to represent that roller coaster of emotions. But, internally, I think what I learned is pay attention to your mortality. Consider death in your life because we're all going to go there. And also, don't be afraid to talk about it. Don't be afraid to joke about it. If you know someone that's sick, if you know someone that's potentially dying, don't ignore them. Don't be afraid to reach out because they want to hang out just like they used to. They're the same person. Just because they have cancer doesn't change who they are. And I'd say that the third thing is be unapologetically yourself like Andre. Live your life how you want to live it, even in the worst of times, even through death. Be yourself. Be authentically yourself. Don't bow down to conventions. You don't have to,
Right.
Live the way you want to, die the way you want to,
And I think it's a beautiful story because really in the end, it's like, it's sad, like especially when you see it like in the film and it's like, oh, like, it's happening, right? It's inevitable. But then, you're just like you said, he lived his life the way that he wanted to. There was joy in it. And that's how you're going to remember him, is with this beautiful story that was actually filled with joy, even though that something horrendous happens in your life, he was able to still be himself and joke about it, right?
Yeah, and I'd say that the film's more of a love letter to life than it is about death. It's actually not even about cancer. It's really about Andre,
Right.
It's just he happened to have cancer during the filming, the making of the film. But I would say don't be afraid to see this. This isn't a cancer film.
Yes.
That's a sad cancer film.
No.
People are laughing out loud for, 75% of the movie, and I think that's what Andre would have wanted. He didn't want people to... anytime there was any sort of sadness or heaviness, Andre would cut it with a joke. And so we tried to follow that in the editing of the film to keep it a fun, wild Andre
Right.
ride,
He reminded me so much of Steve Carell. I mean,
People have said that, yeah.
I know. I just watch it and I'm like, there's like a brotherly thing going on here between the two of them. So he
Yeah.
had that kind of comedy,
Even Jared Leto, at some points I'd be interviewing him, like, you're starting to look like Jared Leto, man, But, he's like a brilliant, and I'd say more handsome, Jared Leto, Steve Carell, type character. But
Yeah.
but someone that you got to meet him on screen. You've got to meet him. I'm excited for the world to meet my friend Andre at this festival and beyond. Actually, we're going to be opening in theaters here in Sedona in March and nationwide. So if you can get a ticket to the film, we'd love. The more people that see it, the better. We feel like the film is saving lives
yes.
in an entertaining way. So I really want to
It's a
get people out
beautiful
there.
film. So thank you for bringing the film to the film festival. And when can people see the film here in Sedona?
So it screened last night at Harkin, and it's going to screen tomorrow morning at 10 a.m. I think it's already sold out, though, is what I saw online. But like I said, in a few weeks, it will be opening live here in Sedona, as well as theaters across the country. So please watch it and, tell your friends. I feel like it's making a real impact in the cancer community and beyond. And one of the reasons we're releasing the film in March is because it's Colon Cancer Awareness Month. And we really want, to create that impact that Andre wanted. The reason the film's called Andre's an Idiot is because he wanted to, obviously it's self-deprecating humor. He wanted people to realize I'm not making fun of cancer. I'm making fun of myself for being an idiot for not getting my colonoscopy. Please don't do the same thing.
Right,
You know,
right. So it has-
follow in his footsteps in most ways, just not that one.
Right.
That's what I'd say.
Right. There's an important message
Yes.
in the whole film as well. So it's so great to meet you.
Great to
Thank
meet you
you
as
so
well.
much for bringing this film
Yeah.
to life here and his memory as well. And I'm sure it's going to be showing at the Mary D. Fisher Theater. So it'll probably be showing there. So make sure if you miss it here at the festival in Sedona, you're able to see it again in March.
Yeah, and double check. It might not be sold out for tomorrow. I just said that online, but
Yeah, just
I have
check.
one extra ticket if anyone wants mine. I'll still
get
do the
mugged.
Q&A. Yeah.
So stay with us and continue to watch on YouTube Live with all of our filmmaker interviews and celebrity interviews throughout the week. And right now I'm signing off, but again, thank you so much
Thank
for being
you.
with us.
I appreciate you having me.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's great.